The first file fragment is a body cam recording from the sheriff's deputy, captured at 1904 MSD on 12 March 1995. The audio is a single breathless voice, a man named describing a shape that moved at the edge of the field. The video shows a dark silhouette, a large wolf-like creature, its eyes glowing faintly in the twilight. The camera shakes as the creature passes, then cuts to static for 12 seconds before the footage resumes with a sudden, bright flare that wipes the frame. The deputy's voice is cut off mid-sentence. The file ends with a timestamp, 1904 and 12 seconds. The next entry in the log is a 911 call from Terry Sherman, the ranch owner, at 1907 MSD, reporting a monster that has been stalking his cattle. The call is recorded on a separate line. The operator's voice is a low hum of background traffic. The transcript ends with the operator asking for a dispatch. The file is marked classified and the file name is redacted. The file is the first in a series of 32 entries that were recovered in 2017 from a declassified vault labeled Vault 7 Paranormal Annex. The file is the only one that contains a clear audio clip of the creature's movement. The rest are logs, emails, and sensor data. The opening sets the tone, a sudden, unexplainable event that is captured on video, then erased. The body cam footage ends with a flicker of light that does not appear in the subsequent logs. The file is the first of many that will be compiled into the final dossier.
The file's acquisition is documented in an email chain dated 3 October 1995, sent from the CIA's Office of Special Projects to the National Institute for Discovery Science. The subject line reads, Sherman Ranch Initial Contact. The body of the email is a brief summary. The ranch has reported livestock disappearances, anomalous lights, and crop circles. The email is signed by a senior analyst, whose name is redacted. The chain includes a reply from the NIDS director, who notes that the ranch is located in a region of historical military testing and that the local Ute Tribal Council has expressed concern. The email chain ends with a request for a field team to be dispatched. The acquisition was authorized by the CIA's Deputy Director for Science and Technology, who is identified only by initials. The file is the result of a FOIA request filed by a journalist in 2014, which led to the release of the file in 2017. The file is a composite of multiple sources: field logs, sensor data, emails, and audio recordings. The file is the product of a coordinated effort between the CIA, the FBI, and the Department of Defense. The file is the result of a covert operation that was never publicly disclosed.
The first field log is dated 15 October 1995, recorded by Dr. Laura Clarkson. She notes the discovery of 3 perfect circles in the pasture, each 30 feet in diameter, with a spiral collapse pattern that does not correspond to any known agricultural activity. The circles are described as having a faint, metallic sheen on the soil's surface. Clarkson records that the circles are aligned in a triangle, with the apex pointing toward the ridge that runs east-west. The log includes a photo captioned Circle A, 30 ft diameter spiral collapse. The log also notes that a deer hoof print circles the perimeter of one of the circles, but no prints are found inside. The log is the first of many that describe anomalous crop circles.
Between 20 and 25 October 1995, the sensor array deployed by the NIDS team recorded a series of anomalies. The log dated 22 October 1995 records that the magnetometers in the perimeter fence registered a spike of 5.2 Tesla, followed by a rapid drop to 0. The log notes that the infrared cameras captured a bright, orange halo that moved at 0.3 m/s across the field, then vanished. The log also records that the acoustic sensors recorded a low-frequency hum at 18 Hz that persisted for 48 seconds, during which the team reported nausea and disorientation. The log is the first of many that describe sensor failures.
On 22 November 1995 at 2117 MSD, a video captured by a field cam shows a disc hovering 100 feet above the eastern pasture. The disc is 15 feet in diameter, matte black, with a faint red glow at its underside. The video is the only one that shows the disc in motion. The frame is cut after 12 seconds, then the footage becomes static for 8 seconds before resuming with a snow-like overlay. The log dated 23 November 1995 notes that the radar data recorded a short blip that did not match any known aircraft. The log also records that the static period coincided with a burst of low-frequency radio noise that saturated the field's communication channels. The log is the first of many that describe a physical manifestation of the anomaly.
On 2 April 1996 at 2:45 MST, Terry Sherman called 911 after discovering calf C4 in the North Pasture. The calf's abdomen was opened cleanly, organs removed, no blood visible. The log dated 3 April 1996 records that the field team found a scorched circle in the soil, 12 feet in diameter, with a faint heat signature that persisted for 30 minutes. The log also notes that the team found a set of footprints that appeared to belong to a large canid, but the prints vanished mid-trail, as if the creature had dematerialized. The log is the first of many that describe a surgical removal of organs.
On 10 July 1996 at 23:20 MST, the team recorded 3 oval rings of amber light hovering above the field. The rings pulsed in unison, then the central ring flared white. A pale humanoid shape emerged, crawling out of the ring, then vanished. The log dated 11 July 1996 notes that the infrared camera captured the event, but the footage ended with a sudden blackout. The log also records that the field's temperature rose by 10 degrees Celsius in the area of the event. The log is the first of many that describe a portal opening.
On 15 August 1996, the team reported that heavy equipment moved overnight. A tractor was found 4 meters from its original position, an irrigation pump was displaced, and a stack of feed bags had been rearranged. The log dated 16 August 1996 notes that the movement occurred during a period of intense electromagnetic interference, with the M coils recording a spike of 12.4 Tesla. The log also records that the team heard disembodied voices speaking in an unfamiliar language, repeating the phrase et devorabit in a low, resonant tone. The log is the first of many that describe poltergeist activity.
In response to the escalating events, the CIA ordered the deployment of a containment perimeter, consisting of a 10-meter-high fence, a network of motion sensing cameras, and a dedicated radio silence zone. The log dated 20 August 1996 notes that the perimeter was activated, but the sensors began to fail within 12 hours. The log also records that the field team experienced a series of hallucinations, describing a figure that walked through walls and a voice that whispered in Navajo. The log is the first of many that describe countermeasures failing.
The final memo, dated 12 January 1997, is signed by the CIA's Deputy Director for Science and Technology. The memo summarizes the case as a high strangeness zone and notes that the ranch was sold to a private research entity in 1997. The memo includes a redacted section that reads, "The phenomenon continues to be monitored, no threat to national security identified." The memo ends with a single line, "The anomaly remains active. Further investigation is warranted." The last line of the memo is followed by a single, unredacted phrase, "The sky above the ranch still flickers at 2:14 MST on 12 December 1998. The phrase is the only unredacted text in the memo, and it is followed by a timestamp. The memo is the final document in the dossier,